Cheers, guys. Hey guys, so talking to you today with my cup of coffee from my armchair, and I'm going to be talking about content marketing trends in 2018. So the first trend that we're seeing is that an increasing number of businesses, especially B2B businesses doing business with other businesses, are actually starting to formalize and build their own strategic documentation of a content marketing system. So rather than just literally going at it and guessing and trying different things and hoping that something will work out, they're documenting each stage of their process, what they're trying to get out of it, and they're monitoring the results that they get back so they can quickly identify what's working, what isn't, and then hopefully improve a lot faster. It's definitely a necessary step. We do it at Quuu. If you don't document your content marketing, then you really are just hoping to find a miracle. I mean, it's likely that you're going to eventually come across something that works, but documenting that system will show you what hasn't worked in the past so you can steer clear of it, and it'll hopefully get you to a stage where it works a lot quicker. Another huge thing that's really blown up, especially in 2017, but continuing into 2018 and showing no signs of slowing down, is live streaming. So not just your typical, I've started a live stream, but also things like stories on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. It's just a more raw, authentic way of communicating with your users, with your followers, and it really generates a lot of comments. If you can master making these live streams more interactive and asking questions and waiting for reactions and responses in order to actually sort of stimulate a bit of debate, then these live streams can be really, really effective. So that's something that if you haven't already started doing it, you should definitely consider. A nice way to start it is by getting into doing Instagram stories or Snapchat and Facebook stories, and then upgrading from that into an actual live stream on something like Facebook or whatever your preferred platform is. There's loads out there, so have a Google, but definitely live streaming could be a really big one for engagement. And if I had to make one last point towards that, it would be, if you are going to do a live stream, make sure that you actually market it, let people know about it, and you want to be probably doing this a few days in advance. You do want to make sure that when you go live, that in the first few minutes you get a few people joining, and you can just start and people will eventually join on. But if you've not told anyone about it, then it's very hard to expect that you're going to get a lot of people watching, because you might get the occasional person drop by, but it's likely that you will just be sat there on your own hoping. So market it, email the people that you want to be there, message them on Facebook, let them know 10 minutes before you do it in a Slack group, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you tell people. So third tip is repurposing content. So it's exactly what I'm doing here, actually. It's not quite a direct copy of other content that we've previously done, but if you check out the blog on Quuu, which is blog.quuu.co, then you'll find that there is actually a blog post called Content Marketing Trends for 2018. Now that gave me the idea to sit down and do this video today, because it's a different way of giving similar information, but I am choosing different topics. I am just picking one or two of those things out of that blog post that I thought were relevant. So content repurposing is an absolute no-brainer. Historically, people just used to write a blog post, put it online, publish it, maybe boost it for like a month or so. That would be like probably ambitious. Not a lot of people would have done that. Some people wouldn't have even published it. And then they'd get a few likes, a few shares, and it would fizzle out after a week or two. But now people are noticing, if a blog post starts to get traction and starts to have some interest, that they're actually putting a lot of time into repurposing that successful content into loads of different types of basically different variations of it. So you could do like an infographic of it, you could do a video like I'm doing now, you could do a podcast, you could do an interview, a webinar, a slide share, like a slideshow on LinkedIn. So many things. You could do posts on Pinterest. There's literally loads, thousands of ways. It's as creative as you can possibly be, by just taking something that you know has a proven level of interest, and just milking it really for all it's worth. So repurposing content, that's a huge one now that people are getting sort of catching on to, and you should be too. And the final one is transparency. So a lot of brands these days are now becoming more and more transparent. They're sharing details about the way they operate, about their team. We've always done this. We found that it's something that has actually helped us operate. If we share our failures as well as our successes, then we can all solve these problems together. And we just feel like it just makes life a lot easier, and there's a higher level of trust and honesty in the company if we have that kind of culture of transparency. But it's something that's getting now reflected in people's content marketing and the topics that they're choosing to write about. So I don't know if this is something that you're able to implement. If you're part of a larger company, then introducing like a certain level of transparency to it might be difficult, but it's certainly something that's worth considering, because if you look at companies like Buffer, who have really gained so much traction and growth as a result of their transparency blog, then it could be something that you might want to consider. As always guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you found it useful, and if you want to see more of these videos, then don't forget you can hit the subscribe button just below the video and you'll be alerted whenever we put a new one online. See you in the next vlog guys, bye!